Hey Blockheads, this is DJ AK the Amanda Knight, and I'm here to let you know that my so-called whatever podcast and No More Games Radio have joined forces. Listen to No More Games Radio on Sundays at 2 p.m. for your favorite episodes of my so-called whatever podcast, and maybe a live episode? Who knows? Tune in to my so-called whatever podcast for upcoming No More Games radio features and exclusive stories from our staff and DJs. And as always, follow us on social media at No More Games Radio and at my so-called whatever. Hang tough!
Friends forever, that's what we are. Through the thick and the thin, we're friendship stars. We're banger main buddies from the days of old. We laugh, cry, and hug, friendship solid gold. My so-called whatever started a year ago. We share our stories and your stories were told. 80s, 90s memories that give us glee. And on the block party shows, NKOTB. Now our friendship circle has grown by far. Hashtag friends forever, that's what we all are. Boom! And if you don't know, now you know. My so-called whatever for life. Hashtag MSCW. Hashtag friends forever. Yeah. Yeah.
I am very tired.
I was starting to worry. I almost texted Pete because I'm like, this isn't like her to not respond.
I slept in the living room for like 3 hours plus. I don't even know when I fell asleep.
I started texting you around 5:30, so it had to be before that.
It was definitely before that because Pete had been texting me too. He's at work.
Oh.
But see, my phone was like muted.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't hearing anything.
Right.
And it doesn't vibrate or anything. So it's just sitting there on the table next to me.
Mine does the same thing, but I have my watch on, so it always buzzes. But when I take a nap, I take my watch off because I don't want the buzzing. So
I have my watch on and the buzzing did not affect me whatsoever.
Oh, well, you are a sound sleeper.
So
That
there,
is for sure.
I'm so tired. It's been the longest work week ever.
Well, because February vacation's next week. So
right. It's been so busy at work. And like that's a good thing. I'm very happy about that because that's how I make money.
Right. Right.
But
at the same time,
exhausting.
Yeah.
It's mentally draining.
So this week, Brody had COVID.
Oh,
so
right.
he missed the entire week of school.
Aw.
Because they had to be 5 days, no like contact. And then today was a snow day. So he would have missed today anyway. Bryn got an extra day and then next week's vacation. So he's going to be out of school for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Once vacation is over.
Right.
Next week we need to find him something to do because yeah.
Aw.
He's been playing video games all day, every day.
Well,
but what do you do? What do you do?
I was going to say, like, that's what they do. That's
when you have COVID and hopefully he has all his homework done. So
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
He's good with that stuff.
He is. Yeah, he is. For the most part.
Well, he is a teenage boy.
Yeah. So this week was like super, there was tons of stuff going on for me. Like it was very, very full and very, just a lot of moving parts, a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Like Bryn, her basketball season ended. It was very sad because they just missed the playoffs. So that sucks. And it sucks to like play your last game and then be like, oh, that was my last game ever. But not Bryn, but for the seniors.
For the seniors, sure, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I was influenced to make a couple purchases.
What did you buy?
The first purchase was a smaller purchase. And it's that Il Maquillage makeup or whatever.
Oh yeah, that yes, I sure have. They try to influence me. They've tried to influence me.
So I bought Makeup by Mario, again, influenced.
Yep.
And what I loved most about that was it had like sparkles in the actual makeup. Like it was like shimmery. You couldn't see it on your face.
So glitter.
So yeah, it has like a shimmer to it.
Mhm.
But here's the problem. I've tried multiple different primers. I've tried no primer. I've tried again multiple primers. It sits on top of my skin, the foundation. It sits on top and like doesn't look right. Like doesn't look right.
Yeah. Does it look like a mask or like
Kind of.
even like feel like a mask?
A little bit, not so much feel because the Makeup by Mario was like very lightweight,
Oh,
but
okay.
it doesn't sit on my face well at all. It looks fake. It doesn't look natural, whatever. So
Yeah.
I love Laura Mercier's it's like a skin tint. Obsessed with it, like love it.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to find it,
Oh no.
but I haven't looked for it in a little bit. So maybe it's back, but um I love it. And um I got it at TJ Maxx. And when I saw it and I loved it, what did I go do? I went to every TJ Maxx and Marshalls and I bought it.
You bought it all.
But I'm almost out because that was like over a year ago. So
Yeah.
anyway, so I was like, all right, this Makeup by Mario didn't work. Let me try this Il Maquillage or whatever it's called. Same thing. Like perfect color match. I was very impressed with the color. Like I went on, I was like, wow, that's like my color. Um, but again, sat on top of my face, like it didn't feel uniform. It didn't feel like part of my body.
Like part of your being.
Right,
I
right.
get it. I this is why I can't do any liquid foundations
Mm-hmm.
for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. I have to use like a powder foundation.
Powder foundations for me sit in my lines on my eyes. And so it just makes me look older when I use the powder foundations. So hopefully I can find some more of that skin tint. And yeah. So the other
I
thing I
hope you
was
can too.
influenced by, we have been having a hard time with our litter boxes because now we have 3 cats and we have 2 litter boxes upstairs. Because they stay on the top floor, you know what I mean? And they're always
Right.
accessible. But just the amount of waste is a lot. And we're constantly cleaning them.
Of
And
course you are.
so
Totally. I know what you mean.
I was just like, we need to figure something out. So for the past month, I've been looking at automatic cleaning litter boxes. So, I started with the like low end ones and the rakes. I'm like, I'm gonna have to still clean that. Like every time I'm gonna have to clean
Right.
that rake. Like
Right.
that's gross. I don't want to do that. So I found this litter box, and it's called the Pura X. You can go look at it. It's on Amazon. It looks like a spaceship. You can actually see it's right there behind me. Like right there. That white right there.
Let me see it.
At first I was really because we just got it yesterday. The cats wouldn't go in it. And I'm like, this is a $600 litter box. $600.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't read hardly any things about cats not going in it. Just like ones like old cats might have trouble getting up into the hole and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, my cats were like, no. So finally they started going in it and they've been in it today. So
Oh, that's good.
it's good. But it still doesn't solve our problem because we have 3 litter boxes. And I mean, the more the
Right.
merrier. I think 3 is a good number anyway for the 3 cats.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
but they all like to use the one in Bryn's room.
Oh.
I know. And it just it stinks. But she still needs one in her room because Alice doesn't like to come out. Alice likes to
Yeah.
stay in Bryn's room. So I mean, we need a litter box in there. So
Litter boxes are hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at a litter box. I don't remember. It was like back in the fall. I don't remember the name of it. And it was like, it was expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, but you literally don't have to do anything with
I
it.
saw one that was like $1,000.
I was going to say this one. I think this one was like $1,200 or
Mhm.
$1,300. But so one of Sadie's friends, parents have one. They have many cats.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't know it when you go to their house because you don't smell a trace of a cat. And
Mm-hmm.
they have litter boxes everywhere. They have like 3 floors and they have litter boxes on all the floors because they have all the cats.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so they were telling me about this litter box and they said it's they're an investment, but that they're worth it. And I don't remember what it is. I'd have to go back. She texted it to me back in like September. But anyway, I've looked at it and I really wanted to get it. But Pete, of course, my husband,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, what the hell do we need a $1,300 litter box for?
Well,
So I haven't, we didn't buy it. I still think about it, but we do kiddie poo club and it works for us.
that's what we do too. Since you recommended it, we do Kiddie Poo Club, and I like the silica.
Yep, I do too.
I don't. It's hard because I feel like I can always smell cat pee, even like the little. But I don't smell cat pee at my house. So if you ever come over and you smell cat pee, please let me know.
I will definitely let you know, but I don't. I haven't.
So because that's like a big fear of mine. I don't want my house to smell like cat pee.
Yeah.
And with the kiddie poo club, it's kind of weird because it actually makes it smell different. I feel like it makes the urine smell different.
See, I don't know because ours is downstairs in a room that we don't go in.
Mm-hmm.
The only time we go in there is to clean the litter box, and I
Mhm.
don't. Pete does.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I don't know what it smells like,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm happy about, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. I don't clean the litter boxes. I tried and I was like gagging, but
Yeah.
Brendan Brody, that was their thing. If they wanted the new cats, they were cleaning litter boxes, so that's what they do. But Bren just sometimes doesn't, and I'm just like, it needs to be clean, so Kevin will clean it.
Yeah. That's
But Brody is
well, yeah,
really good.
kids.
Brody cleans it all the time. So yeah. But
What a
anyway,
good boy.
and we also got air tags to put on their collar just in case. I'm just
Yep.
so nervous about them running out of the house. And so I got these air tag collars. Actually, another New Kids person posted the little things. And so I bought them and they're awesome and they're waterproof and they're really cool.
The little tag, the little
Yeah.
things that they go in. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
First we bought like actual collars, but they're quick release and they were too quick release. Like, so their collars came out right off.
Oh, yeah. I know
So-
what you mean.
So yeah, so that's pretty much, yeah. So this week has been busy. Also, it's like tax season. Tax season is busy.
Of course.
I
Yes,
mean,
it
if you
is.
didn't know that already, my husband is an accountant and I'm actually working for him now. So it's very busy. And yesterday, actually, I didn't have a whole lot of stuff that I could do. So I was like, here is a perfect opportunity for me to go through all of our email and go through our stories, make sure they're in the queue. And I emailed everybody that sent me a story from January of last year until now, and let them know that they are in the queue, like officially in the queue. I apologized. I explained, it was a rough year. Just, it was hard to get to things. And I'm finally getting a chance to do it. And just want to let them know I put it officially in the queue. So we've got all of these stories queued up and it's amazing.
It
I
is
love it,
amazing.
like looking and being like, whew, having that feeling like, okay, we're good. We've got stories.
We have
So
content to share.
I think you and I were talking about it. I think if we did even every other week, I'd say we have like 2 years worth of stories. Would you?
I think so.
Or
Yeah.
maybe like a year and a half.
because like we splice it up with other episodes too. And
Right.
like we have a really nice solid base of
Yes.
stories.
Yes.
It doesn't mean we don't want more.
That's exactly right. Because we
Send
will
them.
have themed things that we might do, and we might what am I trying to say? Like mix things up a little.
Yeah.
So yeah, because like we have some really cool um cruise stories. And I figured, if the cruise gets announced, when the cruise gets announced, maybe we'll go back and start reading those and, bring on the cruise. So that's it. I know that was a big update, but
Oh, but also that being said, we were
Mhm.
talking before we started recording. If you guys have any like first job stories,
Oh yes.
we'd like
I
to do an
really want to do that.
episode.
Yes. Yes.
So you can send them to my so-called whatever at gmail.com. Tell
That's
us about
right.
your first job.
Yes, please do. It doesn't even
Send
have to be your
pictures.
first job. You can like tell us about your first job and then you can tell us about your favorite job that you had, like when you were a teenager or even early 20s, whatever. Um,
Absolutely.
we want to hear them. And I think we're planning that episode in the not too distant future. So we already have
Send them to
one
us.
from one of our favorites, Christina. Christina,
Christina delivers.
you deliver, and we appreciate you so much. So, 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 so much. We appreciate you. So send those stories in. We want to hear them.
My so-called whatever at gmail.com. If you
That's
didn't know,
right.
now you know.
That's right. So we've got a
Should
couple stories for you. Should we intro?
I was gonna say, should we intro and then
Let's do
we'll
it.
just get right into it?
Let's do it.
All right, this is Brooke.
And this is Nikki.
And this is my so-called whatever.
Hey,
Welcome to the block party.
we ain't leaving out nobody. Nope.
Yay!
Yay.
we have some stories to share.
Yes. Yes. So, do you want to read the first one or do you want me to read the first one?
Oh, I'll read the first one.
Okay, you go ahead and read the first one.
Okay. This is my NKOTB story. Mel from Sister Wives Saga, aka Cheese to Sherry's Mac on Block Talk.
And I don't know if she actually explains this, but Sherry and Mel are on TikTok and they
Right.
have a thing called Block Talk, like a hashtag that they do videos about. And Sherry and Mel met on TikTok and now they're best friends. So this is their
And that's
story.
very cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to read it.
All right.
Hello, finally getting around to sharing my blockhead story with you and how the new kids on the block have saved my life several times. Not wanting to sound dramatic by any means, but maybe people can relate and maybe they won't. But New Kids on the Block and my love for Donnie Wahlberg has saved my life a few key times in the last 35 years. I dare to even say my being a Donnie girl with Jenny tendencies, Jenny has also unknowingly saved my life in the last year. The 80s were not an easy time for me. I was a child severely abused mentally and physically by my bio mom and really didn't think I had any escape. I won't get into the nitty-gritty of the abuse nor rehash things, but I often ran away and was returned back to her custody by police who called me a troubled teen. I often slept with a chair pushed up to my doorknob out of fear that she would follow through with her threats to kill me. However, every time I was returned home, I was gifted things as her way of saying sorry, and fortunately for me, those gifts were often the teen magazines full of pictures of New Kids on the Block, cassette tapes of my favorite musicians, NKOTB, and posters of my choosing, any 80s preteen choices, I'm sure. I may not remember a lot of my preteen years, but New Kids and how my walls were plastered with them is consistent. Music is good for a damaged soul. Absolutely. I agree.
Absolutely.
Lyrics and love speak to us in ways other things can't. My room with a locked door was my safe place in that hellhole, and New Kids began to save me on so many levels. When the bio monster would be on the other side of my door, pounding on it to be let in, all I had to do was pop a cassette in my Sony Walkman, slip the headphones on, and escape into CoverGirl, Hangin' Tough, I'll Be Loving You Forever, I Need You, etc.
Aw, I need you. Aw.
I love that song. I
Yeah.
really do. I was able to feel a little safer in a room surrounded by John, Jordan, Danny, Joey, and Donnie, and escape in their music, able to not keep falling into depression and dark thoughts of not wanting to be on this planet anymore. I was never able to meet those five guys as a preteen and teen, but over and over again, they unknowingly kept a wounded soul pushing on and growing. My dad was finally able to get custody of me when I was in the 8th grade, but he often would let me listen to NKOTB with him in the car, and we'd listen to his music. His influence of being open with music is why, to this day, music and lyrics speak to me, perhaps also why NKOTB continued to come back into my life to save it again and again. They left us. I graduated, found myself in an abusive and wrong marriage in my 20s, then New Kids came back to us. I was in a bad marriage, couldn't get to concerts, couldn't cruise, couldn't get as deep in the fandom as I wanted. Yet, once again, NKOTB helped with a rough time in my life. 2 in the Morning was released the same time as I began my separation and divorce. That song sort of helped me realize the toxicity of the marriage I was leaving, and I picked myself up and survived as best I could as a single mom, often surrounding my kids with all my music while cleaning and cooking and trying to stay out of dark thoughts and places in a very heartbreaking and stressful time of my life. My daughter, who calls herself a baby blockhead, says she remembers mom dancing and singing more than anything. So thanks to NKOTB, she doesn't remember the tears on the frustrating days, the worry of paying bills, the sleepless nights mom had, and how much I worked instead of being able to sit and eat lunch with them at school, etc. Once again, those 5 boys from Boston not only saved my life, but they also saved my kids' lives a little. Finally, more recently, in the middle of a pandemic, another bad marriage falling apart, NKOTB, Donnie, and yes, even Jenny McCarthy have unknowingly saved me over and over again in the last year. I hadn't been as active in the fandom as others. My dad passed away in 2012, and I lost myself. I was an artist and haven't drawn since his passing. I have just been going through the daily motions of surviving. Work, come home, feed, go to a kid's school thing, repeat. Then my older kids graduated. NKOTB was set to cruise in 2020, and I decided I was getting on that boat, and I did. I began to reach out and get more involved in the NKOTB fandom, activated a new Twitter account, and got that epic follow by Donnie Wahlberg. I was back to full-blown blockhead, but I didn't have the long history of being on their socials, didn't know a ton of blockheads, still didn't have my blockhead crew. Then COVID came, cruise canceled, and we locked down. The news began talking about TikTok, and I got the app on a whim. At first, I was hesitant, not sure where I belonged on that app. Then the algorithm came for me, and I found Sherry, aka NKOTB Canada, and our friendship blossomed due to a mutual love for NKOTB and my being a Donnie girl and her being a mac and cheese girl. I will always believe there is a right time and place for new friendships, and people don't get brought into our lives on accident. I'm not sure, but Sherry must have sensed that small spark of creativity wanting to become the fire that had been snuffed out when my dad passed away. I was encouraged to continue to grow on the platform as she grew and as Block Talk began to grow. I began hesitantly making more and more TikToks, always a little self-conscious. Then Jenny freaking McWahlberg followed me on TikTok. Heck, it was COVID. She was locked down and not working. And she actually commented to TikToks and then followed my friend Robin, also found on TikTok. The 3 amigos were born. Then a tongue-in-cheek TikTok led to the beginning and growth of Sister Wives Saga, my own little movement on TikTok to bring together blockheads to hopefully find their Block Talk bestie, or at least a go-to person to be a friend when you just need one person in your corner. Yet again, a love for Donnie Wahlberg, NKOTB, and also Jenny McCarthy has saved my life. I was in such a lost place, not even sure who I was. Lonely, no really good friends. Things change when you have kids. Everyone grows in their different ways. However, now I've had my glow up. I am proud of where I am mentally at 45. The remix is awesome, and I'm so thrilled to be called the creator in the New Kids fandom. I have so many people in my life that mean so much to me. Now, outside of my kids, I can be creative, can love and be loved, have chosen family where toxic family left holes. It's so hard to believe only just a year ago I was overweight, so self-conscious that I didn't even think I was going to keep TikTok, and now I'm 55 pounds down, consider myself a New Kids content creator, and love, love, love the outreach of the NKOTB creator community and can't wait to meet so many blockheads in the mixtape tour. Which, this story is from a little while ago.
Yes.
But
Yes.
but
It still rings true. I still haven't
it
met
really
them.
does.
I still haven't met
It-
them. We still haven't met them.
No, we haven't, but we will.
That is
We
true.
will.
We will.
It's out there. I hope to finally be at a place in life where I can just continue to enjoy my love for these 5 boys from Beantown and that one gorgeous Wahlberg wife and never have to have NKOTB save my life again. But if I do find myself with a huge challenge again, I do know somehow new kid serendipity will step in and be there when I need. Thanks for reading, Mel, aka Cheese. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much for trusting us to share your story, because I know that probably wasn't easy to talk about, and
Absolutely.
we appreciate you. So thank you for sharing. That was a great story.
Thank you. And this is a safe space.
That's right. That's right.
This is a safe space.
It
We
sure
really
is.
appreciate you
Yeah.
sending that into us and being patient with us.
Yeah. And I love watching their lives, Sherry and Mel's lives. I see them all the time. And they go live quite often on TikTok. So if you're ever interested, you can go over on TikTok. And I know that I think it's Donnie Girl Forever. I think that's her name. I could be wrong. I will post her TikTok on the website, the actual TikTok. And then Sherry's is nkotb.canada. So yeah.
Thank you, Mel.
Thank you, Mel. So next we have Chloe's story as told by her mom. Let me just tell you, Chloe's mom holds a very, very, very special place in our heart for multiple reasons. If you don't know Becky,
Becky's a national treasure.
she really is. This one of the sweetest, kindest people I've ever met. I haven't actually met her yet, though. I don't think Brooke, have we met? We haven't met her yet. Right. Yes.
No, we haven't yet.
But we will. We absolutely will. And we fully intend on having Becky come on for her own episode. We've been really wanting to make this happen for a very, very long time, and we're going to make it happen. We are going to make it happen. So be on the lookout for that episode.
And Becky she's just always in our corner.
She really is. She is like our biggest cheerleader.
We can't thank her enough for the things that she's done for us.
No, Chris Kirkpatrick. Hello.
Yep.
Hello. I mean, seriously, her and Steffi Button.
Yes. They're awesome.
They really are.
And we really appreciate both of them so much.
And she has been campaigning for Lance Bass to come on our podcast.
Hard.
We really, really, really want him on so bad. So bad. So bad.
Yeah.
Maybe it will happen. I'm hoping it will.
It will.
Okay.
It will.
It will.
It will.
It will happen.
It will.
I am a very lucky person, and good things always happen for me.
Yes. Say it 3 times.
I am a very lucky person, and good things always happen to me. I am a very lucky person, and good things always happen to me.
I'm hoping for it to happen this year.
Yes, 100%.
We'll just say that.
I don't care when it is. I'm feeling this year. I'm feeling it.
Totally.
So here is Chloe's story as told by her mom, Becky.
Awesome.
Hey ladies, it's Becky. I have a story for you. Well, it's really not my story. It's my daughter's story. Her name is Chloe. And by the time you read this, she will be 7. I hope she's not 8. I just thought about that. I bet she actually will be closer to 8.
Yeah, she might be.
She might be. Sorry, Becky. Chloe is most definitely a baby BH, a blockhead in training or a second generation blockhead. She is a Jordan and Joe girl. Ooh, with Griffin tendencies. Okay. Her favorite song is Dirty Dog. I love it because of the barking in the song, or Single, which she calls the Chloe and Mommy Jam. But before I share her story, I think it's important to tell you how Chloe got here. I know I've mentioned it in previous submissions to your amazing podcast that I've had a heart attack just 4 days after giving birth to her. That is crazy scary. Crazy scary because you're already, after you give birth, you're already down for the count. You're already tired and And then on top of that, she had a heart attack. Like,
I know it had to have been so frightening.
I'll spare you the gorier details, but her arrival was quite the roller coaster. On the day I went into labor, I was substitute teaching at a school in Arizona in 6th grade. Coincidentally, this school also happened to be the elementary school that the OG cover girl's daughter also attended. Yes, that's right. We found that out. Yeah. Although I don't think I was there at the same time. However, I know the teacher she references in the story. And that's the story of the mixtape tour 2018 when Sierra, which is Jenny's daughter, was the cover girl. And Jenny was the cover girl again. So that's the story. And the teacher was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So that's the teacher she's talking about. His wife and I hosted a baby shower together for mutual friends. Small world, right? Anyway, back to Chloe. I subbed all day long, not knowing that my water broke. It was a slow leak instead of the rush of fluid that is often portrayed in the movies. After subbing all day, I called my mom, a retired nurse practitioner, and told her how I was feeling and was immediately advised to call my doctor. She knew something was happening. I did not. The triage nurse at my doctor's office told me to go directly to the hospital. The next call was to my husband. He had just started a new job that day. He met me at our house where we grabbed my hospital bag and we proceeded to the hospital. I was immediately admitted. By then, I had been in labor for almost 12 hours.
Whoa.
My labor was not progressing, so they gave me something called Cervidil. It was horrible. It started contractions that did not stop, one on top of the other, and Chloe went into distress. After several hours of excruciating contractions, I gave up and asked for the epidural. Girl, you didn't give up. Take that epidural. Take it. 100%. Take it. That's what I say. That's what I say. At 4, Brooke is sneezing, so she's not answering right now. If you're wondering where she went, she is continuously sneezing right now. At 4 o'clock the next afternoon, I was still at 4 and was told they could wait no longer. I needed an emergency C-section because they needed to get Chloe out. After the C-section, I was incredibly swollen. Me too. Like, people couldn't believe how swollen I was. You remember that, Brooke? And like, I had to have my sister actually knew a massage therapist. She's actually an edema specialist, and she got the fluid out, like by massaging it out. And
I
it
remember
took like
that.
3 hours.
I totally remember that because I
And
was concerned when I had mine because of that.
Right. And we had no money, like no money. And I remember she was like charging me nothing, like $125 or something like that. I mean, let me tell you, she did a lot more than $125 worth of work.
Wow.
And like we had to scrounge a little bit to get it, but oh my gosh, I felt so much better afterwards. Like, you guys, I was so swollen, and this was after I had the baby. Like, I wasn't that swollen when I was pregnant. It happened like, I mean, I was swollen, but like normal swollen. But I was so swollen, like my skin felt like it was going to explode. So, like, I thought it was just going to
Oh,
peel
that's
off.
awful.
So yeah, it was bad. I had to buy new sneakers just for that. Like, I had to buy a men's size 12 or 13 just so I could get my feet in. And then of course, when all the fluid was gone, I could never wear them again. And Kevin couldn't either because you remember the Saucony outlet?
Yes.
That's where we went, and they were men's sneakers, but they were pink. He was like, yeah, no, thank you. After the C-section, I was incredibly swollen. The nurses and doctors insisted it was normal, but I was swollen clear up my back, almost to my neck. Chloe was born on a Thursday. I was discharged on a Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday that year. And on Monday afternoon, with Chloe in her bassinet sleeping and my husband just getting out of the shower, I had a heart attack in the living room of my house. My God. My mom, who had come to help from New Mexico, had to run to Target. I called to him and said, I think you need to dial 911. Something isn't right. He called my mom, who was less than a block away. And as soon as she walked into the house, she looked at me and said to my husband, call 911. Within minutes, there were 4 paramedics and a gurney in my living room. They loaded me onto the ambulance, and my mother rode with me while my husband loaded my 4-day-old daughter into her car seat and then followed the ambulance to the hospital. Chloe and I were both admitted to the cardiac wing of the hospital. We got all the attention from the nurses who were not accustomed to having a new mom and her baby, but instead much older patients. I'm so glad they admitted her daughter too, so she could be with her.
That's so important.
Right. The doctors were never able to determine what caused my heart attack. The cardiologist said that my arteries looked clearer than his. However, after doing a bit of research and a tip from a fellow teacher who went to the same gynecology practice, we learned that 3 other women who were patients of this practice had heart attacks after me. I have goosebumps. My mom theorizes it was the Cervidil, that my body reacted to the chemicals, and that was what caused the heart attack. So when Donnie called me a fighter during the mixtape meet and greet in Dallas, he wasn't kidding. But I would say Chloe is a fighter too. She definitely fought her way to get here. When she was only 4 months old, I attended the main event tour in Glendale, Arizona with some friends. When she was 2, I attended the Total Package tour. This was also right about the time she started to respond to their music. I would play it in the house and she would dance, or she would see a video on YouTube and just be enamored. At 3, she started learning their names, and I recorded her wishing Jordan a happy birthday and posted it on Twitter.
Oh,
He, of course, never saw it, but she loved doing it. He may have, you never know. You never know. You never know. We moved to Texas in October of that year. I bought tickets to the mixtape tour. She must have heard me talking about it because one evening when I was making dinner, she walked into the kitchen dressed in a pair of sunglasses and a bunch of plastic jewelry. She was carrying a sparkly princess purse and a pretend cell phone. And I asked her, "Where are you going all dressed up?" She said, "To the concert." I replied, "What concert?"
gosh.
She very seriously replied, "New Kids on the Block." Trying to hide my laughter, I asked, "Oh yeah, where is this concert?" Still completely serious, she said, "In your bedroom." I thought to myself, don't I wish? Then she told me she had to go because Donnie needed her on stage and she was going to be late, and she walked off. Freaking love it. Seriously, you can't make this stuff up. That's just her. Shortly after her 4th birthday, I went to see Joe and Waitress, and she was so upset that I was seeing a new kid without her, especially Joe. When she found out I was going to the mixtape tour without her, she was even more upset with me. I thought 4 was still too young for a concert, but she made me promise that I wouldn't go to another New Kids on the Block concert without her. New Kids on the Block. When the Behind the Music aired several months ago, she watched with me and got very upset when it was mentioned that Donnie, Joe, and Danny voted John onto the group. She didn't think it was right for them to do that. Then COVID hit and my husband lost his job. And for a long time, I wondered if I would ever see them live again, much less take Chloe with me. The day the Mixtape 2022 tour was announced, I was devastated. I thought, there is no way. We can't afford it. And COVID. I was nervous about COVID. I cried to my mom. I was so upset. I didn't have the heart to tell Chloe that NKOTB was touring. I knew it would break her heart. Then a miracle happened. Okay, 2 miracles. The first being my mom stepped in and said, "Get the tickets. We will figure it out." After sharing the news with a group of BH friends, we started plotting. I was going to surprise Chloe. The day the tickets went on sale, the Texas cities sold out a VIP very fast. However, I managed to snag 2 5-star tickets for Oklahoma City, which is just a few hours away. Then, if only to add to my excitement, a dear friend sent a message that said something along the lines of, "I snagged you an extra ultimate, Becky. If you want it, it's yours."
Whoa.
I thought my heart stopped. Of course, I said yes. Then I waited. I waited almost 3 months before telling even my husband. I told my husband about the surprise and what my friend and my mom had done, and he was in shock. On Christmas morning, Chloe opened an envelope as one of her last gifts, and I filmed her reaction on my phone. I shared the video on the MSCW Facebook page shortly after Christmas. I had printed out the page from Ticketmaster stating we had gotten the tickets and told her it was a girls' trip for her and I, and we were going to meet them. Her squeal of delight brought tears to my eyes, and then in true Chloe fashion, she said, "Finally." I'm so excited to take her. More importantly, I can't wait to see her face when she meets them. I'll be sure to keep you ladies posted. Thanks for sharing. Sincerely, Becky.
And Becky,
You got to tell the story. You got to tell the whole story.
you'll come on and
Yes.
tell the story, because like obviously this has already happened now.
Right.
We've seen the pictures. Like she's shared
Oh my
this,
God. They are adorable. Oh my God.
but she needs to come on and tell it in her own words. So we'll have her on to do that.
Yes. And Becky, we appreciate you so much. So much. And I mean, you are just one in a million. We love you. And we can't wait to have you on. So
#truth.
So with that, that's all we have for you this
That's it,
week.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening, and
Yes.
those of you that have sent stories and have been patient, thank you.
Thank you so
much.
much. Seriously, thank you. We appreciate you too.
You are all the real MVPs.
100%. With the 100 emoji.
So yeah, thank you so much, guys. We will continue to, read your stories in the coming episodes, and don't forget to send us those first job stories or favorite job stories or whatever.
And if you're not following us, if you're not on TikTok, come over to TikTok. Come on over. The water is fine.
Come on over, baby. That was a little pizzazz you put on that.
Pizzazz. So yes, come on over. We're my so-called whatever on TikTok. I made a video the other night, laying in bed, and I was so proud of it. I was so proud of this video. I was like,
it was really good.
I really liked it. And even Bryn thought it was funny. When she saw like the Mean Girls reference, she was like, that's funny. That's funny. So that made me feel like cool that she said she liked it. And when I told, because at the time, like it had been up all day and I had like 2 likes. And Brody was like, oh, I saw that. I saw your video. And I said, but you didn't like it. He's like, oh, let me go back and like it.
Oh,
Brody. So, and then Kevin liked it. So that was very nice of him. So
yes, it was.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a video on this one somewhere
out there.
So
in the TikToks.
So, all right, guys. Well, as always, we'll be loving you forever.
Forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.